Thank you, House Chair. House Chair, the ACDP fully appreciates the very precarious state of public finances that we are enduring at the time, with revenue projections down by 312 billion rand. However, it's important to note that certain of these projections were already down prior to COVID-19, and it's just been aggravated to this extent with COVID-19. And that, as we've said before, was largely due to state corruption and looting that took place. Now, the ACDP is on record to say that SARS has certain powers to recover those billions of rands, and we would urge SARS to make use of the powers that they have to pursue those persons that owe billions of rands and those billions of rands that are sitting across the world. We would also, having looked at some of these amendments, share the concerns that other members have expressed about the changes to the 3-year rule, the changes to the financial immigration laws. These are problematic. These funds are needed for those that choose to settle overboard, and they belong to the member, and we see no reason why those members should not have access to those pension funds. One of the most controversial aspects that was raised during the issues was the Section 234 of the Tax Administration Act. Now, bear in mind, we've just said, as the ACDP, that there are billions of rands that can be collected. Now what we are seeing, and myself expressing my view as a lawyer, is a very deeply concerning aspect, and that is removing the requirement of criminal intent for certain offences. Yes, we do see that the more serious offences still will require mens rea. However, those offences which are the non-compliance offences will be purely negligence, and I believe that that is problematic. And yes, the National Treasury did set out their arguments. They quoted various court cases in this regard. But what is of concern to me is that the offence has a penal provision of 2 years or a fine, 2 years imprisonment, and that existed before this amendment was added, which removes the intent, the criminal intent provision. And yes, whilst the judicial officers will have the discretion to impose fines, it is deeply problematic that now if you negligently act and you negligently fail to submit a tax form, that you can then be held criminally negligent. Now remember, National Treasury, in its submission to support this, quotes from the Constitutional Court saying that sufficient leeway ought to be afforded the legislature to determine the appropriate level of culpability. That is our job, and I believe that we've erred in removing specific intent and mens rea requirement for these criminal offences in terms of this taxation legislation. I thank you.